What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Hologram, I want to go over some of the current data points, what's been coming out from the company itself, and just go over my thoughts on Hologram. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Hologram is down 3.27%. And 101 the low, 109 the high. So it did ultimately was able to fight back and get above $1. My last video, I went over absolutely everything that you need to know coming from an investor standpoint, such as deficiencies, when, like some key dates to pay attention to. I went over absolutely everything. But as I even mentioned in the last video, the likelihood of Hologram staying below $1 was slim to none, only because of dilution. And so with the last news that did come out, I think that this is absolutely pure proof that there is dilution occurring. So when it comes down to some of the volume, so you did see on the 3rd, 67.2 million in volume, 21 on the 4th, and ultimately the 4th closed it above $1, resetting that 30 days. As I mentioned in my video yesterday or over the weekend, very important things to kind of pay attention to. But as I have brought up, volume technically is a good sign that there is dilution occurring. Some people disagree with me on that, but based on what just came out and the abnormal spike to $1.26 on the 3rd, that is 1000% proof that there is dilution occurring. Because if we look at the news on the 3rd that came out, it was this. So Hologram announces it purchased up to 200 million in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency related security derivatives, with total accumulated dividends reaching 8.13 million. So if you read that, just the title, it's like, okay, they finally did buy the stock that they alluded to previously in the news that came out like 2 weeks ago, something like that. So on February the 10th. And so, yeah, in general, that's good stuff. And if you kind of read it a little bit further, that's where it's like, WTF, what is going on? So if we kind of look at this news, which on a side note, it's very easy to understand, so they didn't overly complicate this, but it does state that the HOLO currently holds 303 million in cash reserves, which is a good update. Again, this is new information, but actually, if you scroll down here, the allocated funds of up to 200 million will primarily be used to invest in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies with significant market influence and growth potential, as well as potential derivatives. So when it comes down to it, they didn't buy jack all. So for those of you that think that this news would cause the stock price to go up as much as that, you are sadly kidding yourself. And I've been very accurate on everything that's happening. We'll find out exactly in 1 month to the extent that dilution has been occurring. But for 67.2 million shares on the 3rd to go up, cause the stock price to go up because of this, that is absolutely that is no debate that this is pump, like just a pump to cover up dilution. And in reality, this isn't the first company to do such things, that they kind of orchestrate the news to mask essentially abnormal volume, thus dilution. So this is absolutely comical that anyone would think that this is good news. And as I've mentioned in the past, I really hate to be bad, kind of a bear against this company. They did have a lot of good hope, and still technically do, with 303 million. A lot of good things could come from that. But at the same time, seeing this news and a lot of the recent news, like, I feel like their main goal is to mislead the market, because there's absolutely no reason why it has purchased up to, like, so this show, like, unless I get, like, English might be their second language, whoever's doing this, but that is very, very misleading. So I think it's just kind of a crazy thing. And on a side note, I do want to bring up one thing, because I went over absolutely every key element that you need to know coming from the new NASDAQ rules, regulations associated to reverse stock split. So I've already went through everything. So is just kind of funny. I always have one or two people that do argue in all of my videos in my comments section. I don't know how you can argue against basic regulations when it is right there. There's no interpretation. Like, it's pretty cut and dry. It's very easy to understand. No different than this. So someone did bring up about the, hey, you can't do a reverse stock split because it's blah 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 over 1 for 200 and whatever. I don't know. It's just absolute. Some people just should not be investing. But this is the NASDAQ website. So again, if you guys have any issues, bring it up to the NASDAQ. But excessive reverse stock split. So this section right here, it does say that the company blah, blah blah needs to keep the minimum bid price. Company has affected a reverse stock split over a 1-year period, or has affected one or more reverse stock splits over a 2-year period with a ratio of 250 to 1. This is why, again, I have stated why they exactly did a 1 for 20 and 1 for 10. Those two reverse stock splits. Can anyone tell me the basic rules, how to calculate that and the ratio? Because they did this on purpose. They did this to ensure that it is below that 250 to 1 ratio. Because in this, it does say if you are over that threshold, then the company shall not be eligible for any compliance period specified in this rule 5810C3A, meaning any grace periods. So if a company does more than, within a 2-year span, a ratio of 250 to 1, then technically they don't get any grace periods. If they are deficient, then they get kicked off. That is it. So this is why Hologram did the ratios that they've done in the past to ensure that they are below that 250 to 1 ratio. So that means if they are deficient going forward in the foreseeable future, whenever that might be, then they will be given a 180-day extension. So long story short, some people just should not be investing. Do not look on Reddit for any information. There's some good people out there, not hating on everyone, but there is a lot of people, especially in my comments, that love to argue and say that this is wrong. This is the NASDAQ web. Like, this is, there's no interpretation. There's no like I'm not wrong about this. And it's kind of funny that people say that I'm a bear. It's like, well, technically I've been covering this for 2 years and it is down just over the last 1 year, down 99.23%. It's, yeah, it's just, it is what it is. You're going to always have people that probably have like 5-10 shares of this, just saying that this is going to squeeze, trying to lure in more investors. I say it how it is. I'm not here to get you to buy nor sell. I don't really care about that. I'm just find this whole thing very, very interesting. So yeah, let me know your general thoughts on Hologram. Are you buying? Are you selling? What is your, did you buy into, for instance, this hype right here? Very misleading. And even aside from that, like I said, all the recent news, it is just coming off as the next hype stock. That's all they're caring about, is what is trending, and that's it. So are you buying this, or are you guys kind of calling them out? What's your general viewpoint on all of that? With that said, I appreciate all of you watching. One final thing, I do have a free Discord, link in the description below and also the comments. You can go there talking about options, stocks, whatever floats your boat. Definitely advantageous. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.